Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth. And today from Fresh Look Bible Panorama in the King James Version, I'm going to show you one of the most unique things I've ever seen a Bible laid out in. This is the entire book of Ephesians on one page. Every chapter broken out, every aspect of it really laid out well. I'm going to sit this on the desk for now because what I want to show you is I want to show you what I've got coming on over here. This is the book of Genesis. Now this is in 3 pieces. This is an 8-point font and you will notice that it is color-coded. Check it out. He's got the overview here that kind of lays out the generations. He wants you to know that the book of Genesis is about the generations. It's the beginning, generations of Adam, generations of Noah, Terah, moving on to the generations of Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob. So you get this quick look of Genesis in a matter of moments where you know that this is about how many generations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 generations broken down. And then you also have the generations of the heaven and earth before man was created. 8-point font. One thing I want to show you is zoom in on this. And it gives you color coding. So whenever the words are in blue, it's talking about people, green, places, red, number, brown, time, purple, God, and then like a darker purple, angels, and then a darker green would be demons, and then thinking that's kind of a bluey green, and this one is talking about animals. So whenever you see these colors, then you'll have a color association, and this is consistent all throughout the Bible. He has every single one of these done in the Bible. It is a small font, and some people may say, well, what am I going to do with this font that small? Well, here's what I want to show you how to use it. Let's walk over to the book of Job. Okay, and let's just say you want to get a breakdown of the book of Job. Number one, the book of Job is amazing because it shows the dialogues of Job, Eliphaz, Bildad, Zophar, and Elihu, and it breaks it down into the sections of round 1, round 2, round 3, and then it gives you into the monologues. Then it takes you into when the Lord responds, and then it gives you the epilogue, the closing thought. Everything is color-coded and sectioned. Whenever you see little dashes or lines right here, that's letting you know there's another break in the conversation to let your mind know. And again, you have a brief overview here. So think about this. In like 5 minutes, or not even 5 minutes, in a matter of minutes, I can break down that there are 3 arguments that happen here, a monologue that ends with Elihu, and then God responding in an epilogue. I have seen kind of the overall story of the book of Job just in a moment. And then as I'm teaching the class, they will have their tablets, and in their tablets, they can zoom in on whatever section that I'm talking about. And I'm standing here and saying, look, now Job was having this conversation with his so-called friends, and this is what he said, and I can actually read this. But Job answered and said, "Oh, that my grief were thoroughly weighed and my calamity laid in the balances together." And I've got this huge overview where the students can see this big picture, almost like you're looking at a map of the book of Job. And then they've got their tablets, and they're in this section on their tablets, and they're reading it together. I want to show you a couple of smaller ones that he does too. This is the book of Amos. Now, I think the book of Amos really shines because, think about it. What's the book of Amos about? Do you know? Well, I can tell you. It's about God declaring 8 punishments over 8 nations. It's about God giving 3 words. It's about God giving 2 woes. And then Amos closing out with 5 visions. That's a quick overview of the book of Amos. So you know these things are in there, so you've already kind of been framed to see these things. And then, of course, here's the book of Ephesians. These have a matte laminate finish, and they're in polypropylene paper. So this paper will not rip. They're used in trade shows. So now let's go to the biggest one. This is the book of Chronicles. The book of Genesis is in 2 sheets. This is in 3. Check it out. Now, whenever he has the text boxed out like this, that means it's a written letter. So you have kind of this visual aid everywhere you look. So let's see if we can find the written letters. There's 1 written letter, 2, 3, and 4. So we know there are 4 written letters in 1st and 2nd Chronicles together. This thing is huge because 1st and 2nd Chronicles were 1 scroll. And look, you see a lot of blue here, right? So when you see all this blue, what are we talking about? We know we are talking about people. There's a little bit of green here as well. So we know we're talking about places. So it's just incredible how all this is broken down. Now, again, this is not designed to be read across the classroom. This is designed to be taught by a teacher who is standing here pointing this out. Let me show you one last thing. Because this has a matte finish, it has like a plastic cover on it. And by the way, this polypropylene paper, it will not tear. You cannot tear it. It's pretty remarkable. So anyhow, let's just say I want to say, okay, students, we're talking about this section of Titus. Turn to that in your booklets. Then there we are in Titus. They know where we're talking about. I'm focusing on this. And then once we're done, you just erase that off of there. Now, one thing I do like to do, because that does tend to stick, let me grab something real quick. I like to use a bleach wipe. Now, he has not fully tested this, so you can take my word for it or not, but if you use a bleach wipe, it takes that right off of there. And I left some on here for probably about an hour, and it came right off. So if you're not willing to take that risk, it is a risk because this is the mat. He does do some full laminate, so that will take the dry erase better. And then one last way you can use this is you got a group of teachers, and you're sitting across the table, and everyone's standing over it. And let's just say you're in the book of Revelation, and it's like, okay, I want you to take the vision of Patmos. I'm going to take the vision on the throne. You take the vision on the wilderness, and then we're going to take the vision from the mountain on high. So we already know that the book of Revelation is 1, 2, 3, 4 visions. Okay, broken down with color codes. You know when we're talking about men. We know we're talking about places. We know when we're talking about numbers, which is huge in the book of Revelation. We know when we're talking about angels and demons just by the color code. And we also know that we're talking about this 4 different sets of visions. We have 1, 2 letters in the book of Revelation, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 letters when you include the letters to the church. This thing is ridiculous. This man has put a lot of effort into this, and I do believe that his effort needs to be rewarded. Now, these things can be a little costly because of the high-end quality materials. I'll put all that in the video description. So anyhow, this is unique. It's called Fresh Look because that's exactly what it is. It's a fresh look at the scriptures to where I can see the entire story of Job, of Genesis, of Chronicles, and all these different books, all kind of right there before my eyes. And then when I walk up to it and zoom in on it with my eyes, I can take on these little sections. We know we're talking about 9 generations. I mean, you've discovered some stuff about books you probably didn't even notice just by me breaking this down. So anyhow, this is pretty incredible. There you have it. Keep calm. Jesus on. This is your Nicholsworth.